Great morning, everyone. My name is Coach Frank Sagasa. I'm an educational leader in the great state of Arizona, District 5, coming to you live. And I wanted to share this particular YouTube segment with each and every single one of you, especially the students in my community. And I wanted to I'm really trying to hope to influence you and inspire you and empower you with what I'm going to share with my students today. Today is September 13th, 2022. And many of you probably have seen the water I have here. One of the great things that I've learned throughout this course of learning, this journey of education, is the admiration for water and how it ties into our brain. And what I'm going to use today is be fast in learning. With the way society and culture is rapidly changing, it's important for each and every single person on planet Earth to be fast at learning. To be very fast at learning. It doesn't matter what level of age you're at, be fast at learning. So here's what I wrote down for each and every single one of you. Be fast in learning. Be fast in learning. And so up here I wrote down, do you want to learn fast? Yes or no? Yes or no? It's a yes or no question. Aside from that, because it's a leadership training course here at Desert Star Academy, it's very important because leadership is so connected to who I am on this earth and my position and purpose here on this earth that I wrote these questions down. Do you naturally desire to lead people, or is taking leadership something you must push yourself to? And then I asked students/scholars to compound or explain the answer. Now, compound is a word that they normally don't use in their vocabulary. So some might ask why or why not? And how can they? The next question I wrote down is, in your opinion, what is the purpose of leadership? Please explain your answer. The next one I have is, what are some takeaways, which is another important word to use as you embark into every single classroom. What is my takeaway? What am I learning? What is something that I can use resourcefully? And I'm going to get into what FAST stands for from one of my favorite teachers that gave me this illustration. And he shared it with the world, so I'm going to share it with you. Nonetheless, I said, please compound and explain your answer. And last but not least, I asked the student/scholar, can you think or create a profound question? You see, that's one of the most important things in life, is being able to question not just the existence of humanity, but the existence of learning, education, and how it is congruent to each and every single one of our lives. I get the wonderful opportunity and luxury of looking out my window and I see there's a nursery, and not just a nursery for infants. It's not that type of nursery. That's not exactly what I'm referring to. But it's a nursery, Star Nursery is by the name, and it's where they have trees and aggregate of rocks of different sorts and so forth. But it's nice to look out there because I see the greenery. And I know without consistency that whole nursery would die if there was no consistency of watering. I told you earlier, hence the water, because I use that analogy a lot with my students. I want them to understand that comparison. If there's no consistency in how we sharpen our mind, how it's not going to shape our future. It's not going to save us. And we know this to be absolutely true as thinkers, as armchair thinkers, as believers. And so I want to go ahead and fast forward into a fast, learn fast, be fast in learning. Be fast in learning. And I'm going to share this here shortly. I'm going to really compound so much on this right now with my students this week, because it's very, very important for each and every single individual in my community, especially my youth, to really be fast in learning. So let's get right into this. B is you got to have a belief system. You have to believe. You have to believe that you're capable of doing extraordinary things. You have to believe that there is nothing that's really going to hold you back. Not the economic downturn, not the environmental downturn, not your inability to read or understand or comprehend, not your inability of motivating yourself or finding something that's really going to motivate you. Again, you have to believe in yourself first and foremost. You have to believe. You have to find out exactly what that sort of item or concept might be that you can wake up, and that's going to be your why. Okay? The E stands for exercise. Every single person I've ever learned from, and I've read some books, I read today roughly 40 to 70 books a year. And I'm not just reading just any type of books. I make it very wide. Not too wide to where it's outside the scope of my understanding or learning, but I stay in the realm of metaphysics, sociology, positive psychology, negative psychology, and leadership. Those are the major areas that I focus a lot of my attention to each and every single morning. Hence, that's why I wake up at about 3:30 in the morning, because I really want to use this information to share with students around the world, especially here at Desert Star. The next word is fast. So you got to exercise. I exercise my mind first and foremost. The next thing I do is I exercise my body. 43 years on this earth, it's important that I exercise my body if I want to live another 43 years. So B is belief. E is exercise. Now fast. Fast. So one of the cool things about fast is I used to be fast. I'm semi-fast, not entirely fast like I used to be, but I used to love running track and doing those type of things, so fast. So here you have F, which stands for forget. You have to forget. Forget everything as you walk into every single auditorium, as you walk into every single class or training seminar or workshop. You forget everything and you focus on what is going to be taught at that precise moment. Hence the word takeaway. What is something you're going to take away? Okay? And then can you compound and express a little bit more? And I'm going to get into that T here shortly. But fast. You have to be able to forget. Forget, again, forget those limits. Forget the opinion of other people. Forget. You have to forget. The A stands for activity. Activity. You have to be willing and able to take some notes. Now, there is no standard whatsoever. There is no standard on how you take notes. I take notes sometimes and I write them on books, I write them on sticky notes, I write them anywhere I could find a paper and a pen if I needed to, if something just boom, blows up in my mind, or it's just a slap in the face with ice cold water of somebody expressing something I can use. I make sure that I'm taking notes. So A stands for activity. And I know you're seeing this 0 times 0 equals 0. So if there's no activity, if there's no taking notes, if there's no asking questions, then it's 0. 0 times 0 is 0. No results. So if you want results, you have to be able to B, believe, E, exercise, F, forget the past, forget all the limits that other people have placed on you and opinions, and again, A, take action or activity, be active in asking questions. The S stands for state. It's your state of mind. It's your state, the present state of where you're at the moment, the state. So as students, scholars pour into my classroom, they're in this state. They're not in math, they're not in English, they're not in social studies, even though a lot of that philosophy still flies, or I should say, theoretical thinking still ties in, or analytical thinking still ties into leadership. But the state, what state are you going to put yourself in? What state are you in at the moment? Okay, so that's a great one. And then T is teach. You gotta be willing to teach other people what you learn. You see, that's one of the most fascinating things. That's why I'm here doing this with you right now, is because I'm teaching you, hopefully, okay, hopefully I'm teaching you how to use this particular system in your learning. There are 4 stages of learning, just like there are 4 stages of reading. You understand, you read to understand, you read for information, you read for entertainment, or you read for escape. And when it comes to learning, there's 4 major areas of learning, and that's what's so important. You have to find out exactly what type of learner am I. And I know, again, on a major scale, that we are, a majority of us are visual learners. We have to visualize it, we have to see it. And so visualization has a lot to do with this right here. I have to visualize me believing, exercising, forgetting, actively participating, and then making sure I'm in the state of mind focused at what I want to learn, what I want to take away, and then being able to teach to somebody else. My name is Coach Frank Sagasta, education leader in the great state of Arizona, District 5, coming to you live, your leadership coach and trainer here in Arizona. Have a great day, fabulous day, and as always, make every single day a masterpiece.